Thanks for being with us and welcome to Newsnight, where we speak to major league players in Nigeria's democracy and issues generated from its drive for growth and development. I am Ladi Akeredoluale. The debate over restructuring Nigeria's governance system in the face of challenges takes center stage today. What should it look like? And are there alternative methods to achieve the same objectives? My guest is elder statesman and Afenifere chieftain, Chief Ayo Adebanjo. Adebanjo, thank you for your time. Welcome to Newsnight.
It's a pleasure.
I was reading through your autobiography in the run-up to this interview, and one thing struck me. Apart from what you said about the journey, you identified some key areas where you thought we had done wrong as a country in the growth process. And I'm wondering today, where we are, do you think, because you're a very well-known proponent that we should restructure the country, do you think that process, if done the way you propose it should be done, will solve many of the things you identified, even though some of them are not part of the political process?
Which area did you say I touched?
You talked about the governance structure, yes, and the fact that the intercession of the military in 1966 disrupted the process. Even things like political succession and so on were all truncated because the military intervened.
Exactly.
And that we never quite got it back after that. Yes. So, do you think if we restructure, for example, this political succession process would be easier to embark upon?
Much more so. You see, I think I like to take this opportunity to make it clear. When we talk of restructuring, it doesn't appear that people even understand what it means. Restructuring is not a political philosophy. It's to restructure to get back to federalism. And federalism has no special meaning. There is nothing like true federalism. It is because Nigeria is running a unitary form of government and calling it federalism that people now want real federalism, they want true federalism. Federalism has no qualification. It has its own tenets, it has its own provisos, it has everything. That is why those of us who love Nigeria and want to keep it one insisted that we want federalism. And why? Our political history shows it. Before we had independence, Shifaulo has written a book on path to Nigerian freedom, making it clear that this country of multivarious religion, culture, ethnicity, we can't be run under a unitary form of government. He wrote that book in 1947. I want to make this clear. Some people who don't understand what we are talking about say we want to go back to independent constitution. We are not asking to go back to 3 regions. The contents of that policy, it was 3 regions. After all, constitution and politics is dynamic. It can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, depending on what you agree upon. But the content and the powers of the region will be there. That's what it means. So those who are coming, we are going back to, nobody asks anybody to go back to 3 regions. But go back to the units that make it a federation with the contents of the federalism embedded in it. That's all. And all the complaints and uproar we are having in the country today is because of this constitution imposed on us by the military, which we never agreed to. So that is why you will find in my interview, I said, don't let us, but what's your problem? If you are serious, that's why I say, I don't believe him. I don't believe the man of his word. It does not mean what he says. If he doesn't understand the problem of the country, I can say that authoritatively now. Buhari does not understand the problem of the country, not to talk of solving it. You have to understand a mathematical problem before you apply. You say, what theory, what Pythagoras will apply. You understand the problem first. But he doesn't. And I say it authoritatively that I don't hate Buhari. And I've said it several times. Adesina, with all the language he's using, has not been able to refute it. Adebanjo and Afenifere campaigned for Buhari in 2007 when he said he believed in restructuring. Let us go back to where we are. It was not him as a possible. What is true for once you get that, because by the time you go on the principle of federalism, there's no question of anybody cheating. Everybody knows it's right. The amount of money will come here, you know it. The amount of money in the center with the military under military, the Muslim North that imposed the constitution we are having now as a result of the crisis, well, Northerners. They know every complaining we are having now was as a result of that constitution. That is why I say, under this constitution, Buhari is the most powerful president in the whole world. That is what makes him a dictator. You say that's what all the thing he's doing, disobey court orders, the rule of law, nothing. He said the rule of law is subject to human being. It is because of the constitution. The moment you have federal system, he hasn't got that power. Because the power in the center is limited. This is all that is compiled. When you say you see all this will be, changing this constitution is our problem.
Chief,
not
at that point,
problem, not all this
let me put you on pause there at that point and now take you up on, as you said, the constitution and changing the constitution. Quite a number of those that have spoken have said, while the issue of restructuring and how to change the system to what you have described, the rationale is obvious to many of them. But they ask the question, and I've asked some of your colleagues in the various political groupings, how is this change or how is this adjustment to be made? Because right now there's a structure in place, which you are complaining is our problem. How do you move from this structure? I'm not a lawyer, you're a lawyer, but it is said that if you have an existing structure, there must be some kind of procedure that leads you to the new structure you are expecting. And I'll give you an example. Right now, there's a National Assembly. Sometimes I know that when you talk about this issue, people say, why don't you take this issue to the National Assembly by way of some kind of amendment to the Constitution, even if it's going to be major, and then let them vote for a referendum, and then that will then lead to the difference. I see you smiling, so maybe this is not the first time you are hearing this.
No, I want you to learn.
So how do you make this change so that it doesn't lead to disorder and chaos?
Thank you very much. You are all living in denial.
I'm not one of them, Chief. I'm asking you the question.
No, all those who are giving that question, they are all living there. They are trying to be politically correct. They are asking us to change the constitution through the constitution we are complaining of. Is that logical? I have said it. When the Obasanjo was there, and we are asking for sovereign national conference, which is what we are calling restructuring now, it's not a new thing. It is because we knew we cannot do this thing by force, by anything. Let's sit down and agree. The military that said they are now leaving, returning us to civilian rule, we said no. The constitution that which we are rolling on is not our constitution. Let's go back, but we can't go back by force. Let us have a sovereign national conference to agree whether we are going to live together, and if we are going to live together, on what terms. That was what sovereign national conference means. That is what we are asking for, that structuring now. You will remember before Abdul Salam came, when we are talking of constitution, the stand of Nadeco was we should have this sovereign national conference. It is under that constitution agreed by the people that we are going to conduct the election. Afenifere was insisted at that time. If you remember, the public was saying, oh, these are a lot of people come. Oh, the army said they are going. They are still talking of, let them go when they go. But we knew what we are talking about. That's why you are in the problem today. If you have agreed on the national conference at that time and agreed on the constitution, this problem wouldn't be. But we carried on under a constitution imposed on us. They have not denied that. It is the Absalom who gave it. And when even Adebanjo was saying, oh, there can't be two sovereignty, we are talking of sovereign national conference. And I told you, you are just living denial. Do you know the constitution under which you are elected? Because except Absalom told a lie. He said he didn't disclose the constitution to you until the day was sworn in. I have challenged him on that. That is what we are complaining about. We don't know, we are not agreeable, that constitution was imposed. And when we say we are not going to take part, Absalom said, I'm in a hurry. When you get your thing, you go. It's on record, the man is still alive. That's why I say people are living in denial.
But Chief, how do you then make, how do you propose that this switch be made?
I'm coming. When we are at it, that is what we insisted upon. He came in. When he didn't come down and then we are having, they say, no, we can't continue like this. Under this constitution, the country must be structured back to federalism. That was what gave back to the structure is a lexicon in Nigerian politics. It is a question of restructure this country back to where we were. That's what we are saying. And when I told Adebanjo at that time, no, there are no true sovereignty. What we are saying is that if we agree, someone is national conference, whatever we agree at that conference will be the law, subject only to referendum. It is not going to affect the incumbent government. It is what we agreed on that at that conference that is going to be the law. It is not going to subject to any amendment. And I said then, as he did with the land use decree in the 1996 Constitution, that was never recommended. It was Adebanjo who inserted it. Youth conference, national youth, there was another land use decree, I know for sure. Yeah. I said, we don't want anything like that. That's why we create it sovereign in that respect. That's not subject to any amendment by anybody except through referendum. You see, the process is clear. But the people who are mischievous or who deliberately want to confuse the people, say there's a government in place. Which government in place? This government is a fraudulent government. It's not a government. They have not refuted that.
Chief, but they were elected, they were re-elected in March.
Under what constitution? Under the Absalom constitution?
Yes, the 1999 constitution.
Is that our constitution? Answer that question.
But it is the constitution in place, Chief.
It is not our constitution. That is why the late Rotimi Williams said, this, our constitution is a fraudulent document. You say, we the people of Federal Republic, are we federal? Is it the people who had made the constitution? That's the question to answer. Many of you, including you journalists and those who want to be balanced, say, oh, yes, you have to be constitutional. I know that when we talk of, when we made the 2014 conference, people say, no, you must go to referendum. There's no referendum in the constitution. They're asking us to go to the constitution that we are complaining about. I say, what logic? The National Assembly you ask us to go to, they are part of the problem we have solved. It is not right.
But Chief, how are the members of this group? Because I'm trying to follow what you said earlier, that those people will sit and whatever it is they agree on will, without alteration, then be the subject of a referendum by the people. And it's the people who can then decide whether or not to alter, accept, or not accept it. How are those people to be chosen? Since you talked about the multicultural...
If you want peace, don't let us go around be technical. Jonathan did it.
But it is what President Jonathan did that why President Buhari says he will not even look at that report is that he did not believe that President Jonathan's selection or putting together of those membership was representative of the country.
I am coming to it. Well, that's one of the mistakes Jonathan did himself. If he had heeded the question of sovereign of this conference earlier and implemented it, there would be no problem. But he did was good, which is forever honored for setting up that conference. But for the problem he had, the later part, which people are not conscious of now, the often say no, I didn't implement it. Okay. I asked the question. I'm coming to the question of how did he do. What we recommended in 2014, what is wrong there that Buhari doesn't want? That he says it's not good for us. Because he didn't set it up, it's not good. I said, it's easier, put it. If there's anything bad there, take it out. And I take this challenge. I challenge Buhari and anybody. The composition of 2014 National Conference, Buhari can never get a better composition in this country or the personnel there. You remember that?
I do.
Those who are there, across the line, religion, electricity, youth, labor, everything, judiciary, medical, all sections of the country were represented with good personalities. A composition like that, somebody that can ridicule that and say, I didn't set it up. All right. If you didn't set it up, you believe what we are saying, why don't you set yourself up and go around? Like I said, it's not serious. It's not sincere. Why? He promised restructuring with us, he didn't. When Bakari was running with, restructuring was there. Even this government, there was restructuring there. And when the noise was so much, you remember they set up El-Rufai to on restructuring. What has been the outcome? It's all deceit. The man does not want to restructure. He wants to dictate and rule the country by force. This is what the elements in this country, they don't believe. Both the opposition, mainly the Yoruba in the APC, what they don't know is that it is not democracy Buhari wants. Buhari only wants a satellite through which you'll be ruling the country on his own terms. Buhari wants unity of this country on his own terms, on the terms of his section of the country. I want you to examine the problem of the country today. They are all issues imposed under this constitution of Absalom. Avengers are complaining about their resource control. The Eastern region are complaining about marginalization. The Yorubas are complaining that they are not getting their right. It is under this constitution. The model of the distribution of revenue was by land mass, by area that is not productive. That will be the area that will get the money. It is only this, under this constitution that you define nature, you define geography. All the geography, you land and scripted land. The nearer the desert, the fewer the population. It is only in Nigeria, America, India, Australia, New Zealand, every part of the world. The nearer the desert, the fewer the population. Only in Nigeria. I want you to refute that. I want you to defend that. And the truth is out. Aaron Smith, the colonial officer who did the population, has confessed that he wants to go to heaven and be begin forgiveness, that it was they who manipulated the population. They have not refuted it. And it's under this manipulated population you want us to continue. In a country that has produced the population, in a country that has produced the element in this country, the Oputas, the Kakao shores, It will not happen.
But Chief, this,
My dear, see,
this movement can't go on.
my dear,
Because all the examples you've given and all the places you've looked at where you say they're complaining and complaining, I noticed that you didn't mention anywhere in the north. Most of the complaints are coming from the south.
because the people did not make the constitution in their favor against us. It's deliberate.
But all these problems are also in the north. We are having kidnapping,
No,
banditry, and all
my
of
dear,
that.
don't deceive yourself. It's not in the north. The north is getting more than they share. Look at the revenue allocation. How much are they contributing? Don't you see, when you go there, see, what I'm doing now is how to move forward. And when I say the constitution is independent, I mean it because it looks into all our problems and how it is solved. When you talk of derivation, what is contribution of the north now? Last time, Ogoyala gave the statistics of the contribution. You saw it. Did not give the list and gave the latest. Lagos had one of the best in the VAT and everything. They collect it and go to the north. They collect 10%. They collect £1. They contribute £1. They give them 1 penny. They not contribute 1 penny. They give them £20. That's the system now. That is the system. They not want it to change. When we are talking of changing the constitution, many people don't know. It is the contents of the constitution that make them to dominate us, that make them feel that, oh, you can't change the constitution. We have the majority because we have the number, the fraudulent number that has been acclaimed. And you want to civilize people like myself and others who are before me, the country of Abad Macaulay, of Dr. Azikwe, of Aminu Kano. Aminu Kano was in the forefront when we were fighting for this independence. All this I'm talking about, they're just remnants of the thing. I don't want to say anything antagonistic to these people, but they want to cheat us. I have the right to say, don't cheat me.
Chief, let me take you back to the question I asked because I don't want us to forget it. It's very germane to this. How is the group that you propose? I mean, if, for example, the president, as you said, doesn't want to take on what Dr. Jonathan did.
Let him set it on.
How would you propose for it to be represented?
My dear, you know the composition of the country. That's why I say you are living in denial.
Is he going to handpick them?
Whatever he say, well, how did Jonathan do this? How did he do it?
But it is precisely the way President Jonathan did it.
My dear, don't let us deceive ourselves. Just try to find excuses. It was the way. I challenge, I said, the way he did it, can you fault that composition? All we want is peace. We want results, not technicality. And that's why I challenge him that, well, if you believe that way is done, you set up your own the way it should be done and make it representative and let the people decide.
But Chief, don't you fear that if this process is undertaken, it could lead, like one of your, I don't know whether to call him your compatriot or your colleague, former President Obasanjo, did say that many of them fear that if this process is undertaken, even while they agree with the logic of restructuring, if the process, how do we prevent it?
Prevent what?
How do we prevent the process of restructuring from leading to the breakup of the country?
How can it lead to, my dear, you are accepting the propaganda of the opponents. How can we say, let us live in peace? And I use the language. Let us go back to the constitution our forefathers gave us. Let them refute that restructuring, federalism is against that. And I challenge Buhari that it's not more intelligent, more educated, more northerner than Southerner. That is the constitution he agreed upon before independence. Why is he shy to go back to it? Tell me. He's more intelligent? He's more patriotic than Southerner? What is in that constitution that's inimical to him? Well, you people, as much as I love all this, I mean, all I want is I want progress. All I'm saying, I don't want to, because if I have to handle Ruwa and go Abdullahi, have you examined that type of language? When any northerner speaks, they speak with authority that this is what we want because we have the power. They don't talk the language I'm talking about. No, do have it, let us do it this way. They are never persuasive. They are authoritative and defiant.
As we wind this down, Chief, I must now ask you. You've said quite a lot about where things stand and what needs to be done to make it better, to change the narrative and make it become positive. I want you to now look ahead. Many people reason the way you do. They reason the way you do, and therefore, many of them have difficulty in seeing light at the end of the tunnel because they are beset with so many problems, security challenges, economic challenges, political challenges, and they're looking at this. What would you say to, I know you have great-grandchildren. You have great-grandchildren. If one of them were to come to you and say, sir, is there any real need in putting effort into this process to make this country better? And they're looking at you at over 90, still in the trenches, fighting. And they say, why should I do like you are doing, great-granddad? What will you say to them?
It is because the peace I want is not being done. If it's not done, there will be crisis. We have gone through it. As it's happened before 1953 constitutional crisis. That is what I want to avoid. What led South Ghana to say, no, Araba, I'm going away because of the resolution of independence before they are ready. Until we persuaded him that we can have a system of living together without oppression. Federalism only means the system of living together in peace with various ethnic groups, with different culture. Federalism only means that development at your own space, at your own speed. Why should anybody be opposed to that? You people should ask that question. And when you say, well, you are still doing this, what your grandchildren should be doing, I should be that vocal. I should be vocal in politics now. At 91, what do I want? I want to be president? Or I want to be governor? But people should do it and they have been compromised.
One thing that runs through your autobiography, Chief, is that even amongst your group, and by your group I mean the Yorubas and the political groupings in Yoruba land, they have always managed to be infiltrators.
To
infiltrate the groups and divide them. Even what used to be the paramount group, Afenifere, there is Afenifere Renewal, which is not the same thing as the Afenifere that you belong to. There is Yoruba Council of Elders.
No, I correct you. It's not the same thing with the original Afenifere, not that I belong to. They broke away. You call them whatever name. I've already told them they are rebels. Be it your first or anybody, and let them deny. I have called them rebels. They are unable to face me. I'm not taking of issue that I read about. I'm talking of issue I take part in. And anybody who to challenge me will be somebody who live my age, who live the true road. I have challenged your first on me. I said I won't comment on him. Because he and myself, we should say our law. I asked him, will he be able to tell our law that he continued the fight that our law led for us? That's all I say about the first on me. Because he's a year older than myself.
But there are broad divisions, and that's what
like
I was referring to. You have Yoruba Council of Elders.
My dear. Don't get yourself confused. You see, I'm all in this game.
I'm not the only one.
No, don't. I know. They are this, they are that. That is the essence of the education we have in Yoruba land. We are the most democratic society because we are all enlightened. We are not like the North. In the First Republic, this leader, the leader of GMPP, Ibrahim
Waziri,
he told Chief Awolowo In the north, they beg their leader to follow them. The leader just sit down, the followers, it is not the same thing. Our education has passed that. In my village, the graduates in my village in Ogbo can rule the whole of the north. You go there and tell them you are Adebanjo, the only thing. They tell rubbish. Who are you? When in a family you have 4 graduates, 3 lawyers, 10 unemployed, you go and tell them rubbish. That one man is the only man who can do something. It cannot happen. That is the essence, that is the composition of Yoruba land. And I say it for those who are just deceiving themselves that Awolowo was the leader of the Yoruba. When he was the leader of the Yoruba, he was not 100% followership. He has opponents. That's the essence of the education in our land.
You mean even within Yoruba land?
Yes. That's the essence of democracy. Democracy doesn't mean you sleep, you say one way. No. With all the democracy in Britain and America, haven't become communists in Britain today. They are in the political party. They don't ban them. There was red flag in America. You see, when people do stuff, they just believe that we are hidden in the corner. We are in a world. All those people have a right to call yourself the leader here, the leader there. The people know their leader. As opposed to communism Britain is, they never banned the Communist Party in Great Britain. They contest it, the people will reject them. The law will not say no, because they have a right to exist. So when you say Yoruba Council, they have a right to.
But doesn't that make political objectives such as the one you're talking about difficult to achieve?
It is what you preach that will make you people follow you. Now I tell you one secret. Today people say, Afenifere is not the leader of the Yorubas. Afenifere is not a Yoruba organization. It's not a cultural organization. It is a political organization with a definite political ideology. The name of Afenifere is Action Group, called Afenifere in Yoruba land. The organization that binds all the Yorubas together before Afenifere was Egbe Oduduwa, led by Adebanjo and Sade Ebolakija, all combined. But the ambition of many of them, they say, we can't have all these ambitions without having a political party. That was what led to the Action Group. So when the Action Group came into existence and performed the way Awolowo performed the Western region, people now say, what are you looking for? That's the Yoruba Party. We are never a Yoruba Party. Only majority of the Yorubas support Action Group. There is no time we are Yoruba Party. It's a misconception. And at that time, Azikiwe used the Action Group as a tribal organization, which was not correct. In the First Republic, we are the only national political party in the country. Go and find out in history, because a lot of this confusion people talk about. In the First Republic, the Action Group is the only party that is represented in all the parliaments of the region. We are the government of the Western region. We are the opposition in the East. We are the opposition in the North. We are the opposition in the federal government. Akintola in the North, Maito in the North, ESD Ikoku in the East, and we are the government in the West. Which party can be more? And we challenge Azikiwe then. No other political party can claim that. And it's in history. It's not like just talking, I'm not talking to the press. Go and check up. And when I said earlier that, well, you said people have been bought, it's unfortunate. And they call, we are still back where we are. We are still talking because those who are supposed to carry on the campaign, they sold out. I am saying it openly, they sold out. Let them tell me they have not sold out. Let Tinubu say they don't win election on the basis of restructuring. Let the chairman of ACN, Oshoba, let them say no. That what we are clamoring of is not the basis on which they were elected. Don't let all deceive ourselves. I'm not in for polemics with anybody. I'm talking. Why I'm giving these facts and figures to show you where you all went wrong, how insincere Buhari is, he doesn't want to rule, he wants to dominate Nigeria on the terms of the Muslim North. And he's working at it.
But you said something earlier, Chief. You said, how can anyone look at the situation and in the Southeast say that they cannot be president come the next election? If your view is, for example, that equity and justice and fair play demands that the Southeast be given an opportunity to contest for the presidency, would you be recommending that, or would you be supporting that, even if the system remains the one that you are talking about?
How can it remain? That's, you see, somebody was asking me, I am still in this struggle, but I've never been president. I've not done anything. They say, what is my motivation? Issues. I'm doing politics of principle. The principle is, we say we want a federation. We want everybody to come together. We don't want anybody to separate, if you are sincere about it. And we want us to come together by discriminating against one of us. Is that equity? My support for this is not because I love them, because I believe in equity. Suppose it is we, they say that we don't want them. East and North, you let us come together and gang up with the Yorubas want it. That's the question you ask me. When I even say it is the right of every unit of the federation to accept the board. That was one of the we supported Jonathan. And people said you have got, but no. You can't be sincere and honest to have a federation in a peaceful manner and do the federation of exclusion of a particular tribe, strong tribe for that matter. Not because whatever you complain about the Igbos and all, I know more than that. Before we are wiser now, the North were using them against the South, against the West. I'm not unaware of that. In the First Republic, the Igbos dominated the civil service and the military and everything against the West. That is why some of the people in the West now come and tell me, are you cooperating with the East? They did this. I said, no. All that will not solve the problem now. Those are all mistakes of the past. The East, they say, I've not seen it. We shouldn't go into the mistake we knew that happened to allow the North now to use us against the East. It won't happen because I have seen what happened. The North is succeeding. The people say, oh, the North are better politicians. No. They are better divider. They divide and rule. It's like the one they are deceiving Tinubu now. He will be the president. So we don't want this. They don't mean it. They want to retain power.
How are you sure of this, Chief?
I have lived it before you were born. I have been in this game since 1949, and I have been in it since 1952. I'm sure you are not 68.
No.
Huh?
Yes, but my question is, how are you sure that they are deceiving Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, assuming he wants to be president?
No.
Because
It is clear because I have lived
confirmed.
through it. I have lived through the Fulani. It is no cause of confusion between Awolowo and Akintola that the other they to get an inroad into the West. I lived through it. I didn't read it in the paper. And we know that each time they divide us, they get away with it.
But does that not say something about the Yorubas themselves? Because if they can divide...
My dear, it does not mean that every Yoruba will understand it the way I've lived. The Yorubas you are talking about now are Yorubas of military regime. No Yoruba of my regime will talk the way they are talking. Tinubu and others, they are products of a military regime. They don't, especially what I'm taking now, they don't know. What we had in the 50s before the Constitution came in, they don't understand it. How the North and the East dominated the civil service, the army and everything before the first. I'm not going to all that at all. I'm positive about how to improve things, not how to refer to what has been drawing us back. What you are saying about this, yes, those are the things. Those are the things that is happening, that is making us to be where we are today. And if everybody loves Nigeria, they should talk the way I'm talking. All these things, we have made a mistake in the past. The East has offended the West. The West has offended the East. And the more the two of us get divided, the more you get the domination of the North. Simple. And the North knows it. That is their game anytime. Whenever they think you are coming together, they put a bombshell. They know you go to this, but they don't want this to go there. Then they say, well, so it is you who want to, they want to stay. But then God bless said they want to rule for 1,000 years. How is Tinubu now believing that they are going to give it to him? When you say, how do I know? Even from what they say, El-Rufai has said it. They are all coming out, and they still believing it. And they are setting a very VP against the president, against the FIME. They are choosing candidates among the Yorubas. You don't know that. You know that. All these games are played with their forefathers, not these English. The governors in the country today, they are English governors. They have no power. The governors in the West, they have no power on anything. They are only head of security in name. They know. That's why I say when you ask about solving the question of kidnappers and all that, I asked Buhari, as the first place, develop police power to the state, unless if the state will not take care of. Because the policemen are under the rule, turn your eye against the culprits. When the Yoruba man is in charge of his team, and the Yoruba man that is there, you look at the composition, they bring the man from Maiduguri to come and take care of me in Ijebuland. What does he know about that place? They bring the man from Sokoto to go to Badagry. What does he know of the territory? You know, these are all that's the template now. They say it's one Nigeria. As a result, it is they who gave instruction to the DPO that don't charge these people. And we have evidence, and it should come out. When the people go and report, they say, no, you have been asked not to charge them. That's why I say, if Buhari is serious, even right now, let him indigenize the police in his state. Not to give the body power, and the indigents of the state must be the policemen, they are the personnel. And see what will happen. The police know the location of these armed men in each place. They turn their eye, no. But if it's our own people, you are the DSS and the police there, they will go and check them out. I have said that. Why did he do that? If it doesn't mean evil. Let the owner of the place take care of it. How can you say you can take care of my property better than myself? What common sense is that? That's the challenge I gave him. If Buhari is serious about living in peace, give all this autonomy to the state governors. That is head of security, make them the head of security in terms and in action. They haven't got the power. The governor that can't command the commissioner of police, he has to take instruction from Abuja. You all know this. Then when we are, why then I say you are all living in denial.
Chief, finally, and I want to end this on a very positive and light note. Reading through your biography, you've had a very colorful life. You met a lot of world figures in the course of a very long career, as you pointed out. And I wanted to ask you, do you sometimes sit back and look around? I mean, even in this place where we are talking to you, there are pictures of you with various people at various events. Do you sometimes sit down and ask yourself the question, was this me in all of these things? Was it me who went through all these things? And today, do you feel a sense of personal satisfaction?
No.
Why?
No. I only feel satisfaction in the fact that I have been consistently consistent. That's my satisfaction. And I
Can
did
you
it.
expatiate on that?
But see, it is what I preached when I was an organizing secretary for the action group. I'm still preaching now. It is the interview I give to pressmen in 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980, under Buhari, under Abacha, under everything. You will help me now. I am not APC today, PDP tomorrow, a Labour in the evening. All these people are talking of, all of them, both parties. You can claim at least 2 or 3 parties would have gone through, depending on the government of the day. That can give us progress. It can. It can. What I pray for, I want people, I pray, people I'm still in this game now because I want to see young elements who will stand purely on political principle.
Are you seeing them?
I a few of them now. I don't know how long they will last. I'm praying they will last. But not those in government now. When you get the people structured, I give you an example. The same Minister of Agriculture in the federal government. Where is the land of the federal government? My dear, I am an embittered old man. Because the way we should go, people who know that is the way, because of their own selfish personal interest, they abandon it. Now, all the noise I'm making, what is the problem in saying, let us agree on how to live together? I have challenged Buhari that this constitution is not the people's decision. Let them say no. Did we vote for this constitution? And you are now asking me now to be ruled and obey the constitution I am criticizing. Oh, yeah, you have to go to parliament. Which parliament? The parliament created under an imposed constitution? You can as well tell me that you be ruling as well under the colonial laws.
Chief Adebanjo, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's Newsnight. Thanks for joining us. I am Ladi Akiridoluale. Goodbye.